California, 2030. After the great financial crisis, there was only one way to get rich: the grand lottery. The rules are very simple. Destroy the main winner before sunset to get his prize. And you have to do it without using any firearms. We see one of the winners running through the city, hoping to find shelter. The man is chased by a mob of hungry fans who dream of his money. Finally, the hero finds shelter in the house of a sweet old woman. The man is sure he's safe now, but the woman proves to be more cunning. She reaches into her bag for a stun gun and stuns the man forever. The disappointed hunters collapse on the couch and watch as the lottery founder hands the old lady a certificate for $22 million. Meanwhile, Katie knows nothing about the silly lottery. She has a dream: to become an actress. That's why she came to California. On the bus, she plays her first role. She pretends to be a police officer to calm down a rude man who is berating his daughter. Such an act impresses a sweet old lady. But as we already know, the old ladies in this story are total a-holes. She steals Katie's only expensive item, her watch. All the screens in the city start flashing, announcing a new lottery that will begin in 18 hours. Meanwhile, in his workshop, Noel prepares for the lottery. The man darts the gun, hoping to find a new victim. Katie arrives in the most crime-ridden area of the city to rent a room. She already has regrets about being in the city, but there is no turning back. Besides, she had already paid to rent the beautiful, cozy, bright room. Shadi, the apartment owner, shows the woman her new place, but Katie thinks the room is a little different from the reference on the website. But the owner doesn't accept the claims. Of course, she showed a fake on the website. Katie and Shadi chat a bit, talking about their work and lifestyle. Later, Shadi's boyfriend, who is a DJ with the name DJ, comes and gives Katie the keys to the room. As the future actress lies down to sleep, we see that there are 11 hours left for the grand lottery. The morning brings a new joy to Katie. She wakes up with a smelly liquid dripping on her face. All the woman's belongings turn out to be diluted with toilet water, and she has to ask Shadi again for an explanation. Shadi doesn't understand why her new friend isn't happy. It's just a sewer that's been leaking for years. But to get the nerd off her back, the owner offers Katie to rent her stuff for only $40. Katie gets a cool gold suit that makes her look as stupid as possible. With this suit, Katie goes to the studio for an audition. The woman has to pay another $400 and goes to the studio to perform a prepared monologue. She searches for a monologue and remembers that she's wearing someone else's pants. The woman finds only a strange lottery registration card in her pocket, which takes online photo. Katie fails to win over the director and returns to a hallway filled with identical Barbies. But something strange happens. The Barbies surround the contestant and attack without warning. Convinced that it's all a struggle for the role, Katie tries to hide in the karate studio. But even there, danger awaits. The fighters swoop down on the woman, shouting something about the jackpot. The same thing happens in the yoga room, and Katie begins to suspect it's not about the role. But luck finally smiles on her. An unknown athlete appears who is ready to save the winner for 10% of the winnings. As a trial, Noel eliminates 5 attackers, but then Katie has to agree to the guy's terms. She promises him 10%, but from what amount? Noel ties Katie to himself and fends off the competitors so he doesn't have to share money with them. Finally, the protector tells Katie about the lottery and the fact that she will be tracked by a drone for 24 hours. She can't hide from the fans, but she has to try to survive the day to get $3.5 billion. And most importantly, survive. The whole city gets a picture of Katie and prepares for the hunt. Fans arm themselves with knives, axes, and sticks to follow the basic rules of no shooting and no destroying anyone but Katie. Noel deftly evades the gang on the bikes, protecting his head with a ridiculous Captain America-style helmet. But Katie's not amused. She asks her buddy to help her get out of the game. The protector doesn't like the idea. He suggests that she shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. He says don't show off and just get through the day. One of the hunters gets into the car through a broken window, and Katie has to drive the car while Noel has fun with the girl in the back seat. Eventually, the company manages to break away, but the car has to be abandoned. It could not survive such an unusual journey. Once safe, Katie decides to get rid of Noel. She doesn't believe that everyone but him wants to destroy her. The woman blows her buddy's nose. The cops arrive and Katie happily runs to them to get protected. But it turns out to be much worse. Today, even police officers want more than a parking ticket. They attack the woman, and despite the broken nose, Noel takes the punch again. Katie proves to be remarkably stupid. She escapes again and goes to the main street of the city. The drone immediately alerts all the hunters, and they start a real raid. Katie manages to find a hiding place. An old guard at the wax museum lets her hide. He thinks the lottery is a total crapshoot, and he doesn't want the woman to die. A sudden phone call brings Katie to her senses. She hears Shadi's voice, who is crying and wants to help her friend. But Katie realizes in time that it's a trap. She hears the noise of the streets and refuses to tell Shadi her location. There's no way to keep the secret. Shadi has been having fun with her boyfriend in this museum, and she recognizes the voices of the figures. The couple knocks out the guard and enters the hall, looking for a victim. A brawl breaks out in the museum, and all available materials are used: doll heads, toy knives, and coat hangers. But none of this helps Katie. She is injured and her chances are greatly diminished. Noel rescues her again in a stolen police car. Katie is grateful to him, of course, but she doesn't understand why he would help her for 10% when he could get everything. The powerful argument makes the jock think twice. He admits that he wants to remain a good person. The couple arrive at Machine Gun Kelly's mansion and demand to be let into the bunker. He's a movie star and won't listen to them. Nevertheless, the couple manages to get into the bunker. Katie has to sedate the guy with darts so that a crowd of arriving fans can't get the code of the bunker. The monitors show hundreds of hunters trying to crack bunker and pull out the winner. But Noel is sure they have nothing to fear. The shelter is too secure, and they can wait until sunset. Buddies get a chance to get to know each other better and talk about themselves. A heart-to-heart conversation is postponed until later. The fugitives see Shadi appear in the house. Shadi tries to wake up the owner to find out the code, and it seems that she soon succeeds. Now the hideout becomes a trap, and Noel realizes he can't protect the woman alone. He dials a number and calls his old buddy Lewis for help. Lewis sets up a remote phone strike. All the cell phones in the room explode. Through panic, Noel and Katie make it outside, where a rescue team from the Lewis agency is waiting for them. The mercenaries offer freelancer Noel to stay, but Katie refuses to leave without him. The couple is taken to a safe house, where Katie is helped to survive the lottery. Lewis promises the woman protection. He offers the woman to sign a contract to give half of her winnings to the company. And Katie is okay with that. There are only 4 hours left in the game, and she wants to survive. Lewis shows the clients a wall of portraits of rescued winners and assures them that Katie's portrait will soon be next to theirs. He also voices a plan. First, some cars on autopilot will leave the agency to distract the fans. When the way is clear, Katie will be taken to a safer fortress where she will spend the rest of the day in peace. The boss gives the girl to Isabella and tells the secretary to find less colorful clothes for the client. It's too risky to hide in a gold suit. While Katie's wound is being treated, Noel is nearby. He tells the Katie that he has been rescuing winners for many years. He had been on a mercenary team with Lewis before, and now the man is giving all the money he made to the families of those he destroyed. In return for his honesty, Katie also tells Noel her story. When she was in commercials, her father was her manager and received royalties. But when the girl turned 18 and wanted to manage her own money, the old man ran away and didn't leave her a cent. The company prepares a silicone face to protect the woman. Katie chooses an old man's mask, under which she is sure to be unrecognizable to any fan. But Noel begins to have doubts. He's known Lewis for years, and the fact that the guy agreed to give him a large sum of money seems suspicious to Noel. Louis overhears part of the conversation, but Noel finds the answer. He explains that he can't hold in his fart, and that's what's bothering him. Katie manages to understand her buddy and becomes more vigilant as well. Noel realizes they are trapped. Lewis will not save them. His agency destroys the winners and gets all the prize money. That's why those who win the jackpot remain anonymous. So other clients won't be afraid to contact the agency. The couple tries to be separated and put in different cars, but Katie refuses to leave without her friend. She realizes that Lewis won't let her friend stay, and the woman attacks the founder of the agency, and the fight begins. The crowd breaks into the garage, but no one recognizes Katie, and Noel leads her outside. He instructs the woman to find a car, while he stays behind to stop Lewis and his mercenaries. Several cars on autopilot drive past the traders, and Katie hides in one of them. Lewis orders surveillance. The woman must be found within 3 hours, before time runs out. Katie gets behind the wheel and disables the autopilot. This helps the agents locate her. The whole city's disappointed. If Katie doesn't get caught, the money will go to her, and everyone will have to suck their thumbs until the next lottery. Katie hits the highway to escape the crazy state and save her life. But suddenly her phone rings and Lewis comes out on a video call. Lewis takes Noel hostage and demands that Katie return to save her friend's life. Noel convinces the woman not to, but Katie refuses to leave him and returns. Lewis sets up a meeting for Katie at an abandoned theater and brings Noel there. The old friends start to figure out their relationship and remember everything that connected them before. Noel admits that he did not mean to destroy innocent people, but Luis disagrees. He reveals the truth to his colleague. He's the one who destroyed his team in order not to share the money. Katie arrives at the theater and sees the main characters on stage like in a cheap movie. She realizes there is no deal with Luis, and the woman has a cool idea. Katie puts the barrel to her head. If she pulls the trigger, Luis won't get her money. And to make sure that definitely doesn't happen, the woman starts a live stream. That way the scammer can't erase her fingerprints and claim the victory. Katie admits that Noel is the best friend in her life, and she has no other reason to fight. She gives a touching speech and then chokes to end it. But Katie has the thug wrapped around her finger. She shoves him off the stage and celebrates victory. A knock on the door indicates that the woman has relaxed too soon. The player hunters are coming for her again. The lineup includes hotties, old ladies, and even a boor on the bus who wants revenge on the fake cop. Katie tries to find a way out, but ends up in Luis's hands again. At that moment, hundreds of hunters burst into the theater, and Katie is trapped. Noel pulls out a chair and begins to fight to save his only friend. The guy imagines himself as a Ninja Turtle with a wooden shell hanging on him. By some miracle, Noel gets the handcuffs off and grabs Luis. He begs his friend to flee, but a dangerous rival, Shadi, reappears before her. Katie doesn't have the guts to destroy her friend, but she does knock her out with her head. It doesn't get any easier. A new group of players enters the hall, but Katie doesn't have the strength to fight them. Noel asks her friend to survive. There are only 4 minutes left. The woman climbs to the top of a theater rocket while her friend fends off the hunters below. Luis climbs up after the woman. The common ancestors seem to have helped him with that. But Katie remembers that her opponent has explosives in his pocket. She rips out the rings before falling down from a great height. Time is running out, and those who tried to destroy Katie are now catching her to save her. The buzzer sounds and the crowd cheers as Katie becomes the new national hero. The woman hugs Noel, who has become her best friend. This became a real prize for her in this hellish lottery. Katie will split her winnings exactly in half. Noel deserves billions as much as she does. A government car and a lottery announcer arrive at the theater. Johnny Grand presents the girl with a certificate and invites her for an interview. But Katie realizes that she doesn't want to be an actress anymore. She doesn't like that kind of attention. She finds her last $10 in her pocket and invites her friend to take a break and eat a hot dog. 6 months later, Katie and Noel start a free agency for all the lucky lottery winners. They also open a martial arts school so that all players can defend themselves during the deadly race. They appoint Shadi and her boyfriend as ambassadors for the school. But the most important opening is the Ninja Turtles Pizzeria. Noel serves pizza on garbage can lids, and the cafe is packed the first day. But the pizzeria only works for 1 day. The businessmen forget about the copyright and they get hit with a huge fine.